How's it going, boys? Welcome back to Mogul Mail. Now, there is a small group of people who watch this channel who are going to have their worlds collided, because today I'm talking about VTubers, specifically HoloLive Japan VTubers. Now, about 95% of you have no fucking clue what I'm talking about. Basically, if you look at this image and you're like, oh, damn, that's my basic homepage on YouTube, then you are the probably 5% of viewers. And if this makes no sense to you, no worries. You were like me just a few hours ago. But what might be very, similar for you as it was for me is you woke up this morning to VTubers trending. And maybe like me, you clicked on it and you understood fucking nothing, because all you know about VTubers is like Iron Mouse and Scara when he has his dinosaur VTuber. That's about the extent of my knowledge. And I'm actually going to become a VTuber too. I don't know if you don't follow me on Twitter, I did announce my VTuber. I will be Madewig. Here it is on a billboard in Hollywood. Quick aside, super random. This is not part of the story. We're going to get to it. Anyway, back to it. VTubers, specifically HoloLive Japan VTubers, is a totally different breed of VTubers. HoloLive is like an agency. Think of it like kind of like OTV and OTK. You know, it's just like a group of creators under one umbrella. But HoloLive has like better, bigger, stronger, more powerful management. Does that make sense? You know, kind of like in esports orgs, but just creators, and that's what it is. And there's an English division and a Japanese division. And you might be familiar with like Guargura. It's like the shark girl. She's HoloLive, and maybe you're familiar with people like Iron Mouse, who's V Shoujo. Anyway, we don't got to get into the nitty gritty. What you got to know though is that even though these are Japanese speaking VTubers, they have audiences in Japan, but also internationally. And I had to get into a huge conversation with the big fucking weebs on my Discord to understand why. Because I assume the language barrier is just an end all. But apparently there's like giant clip armies who will take the content and re-upload it. And I just watched this clip. I won't show the whole thing. I'll just show 30 seconds. But it's pretty easy to understand why people like these VTubers.
愛してるとは思わない。Hug me.
Hug me. I'm not sure.
What? Do you listen to me?
Do you listen to me? I do.
I do. Sure.
Sure. Yes.
No.
No. Yes.
No.
No. Yes.
No.
No. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. No.
てめぶっねえ、持って遊ばれてんのこれ
I mean, that's just a regular Bugs Bunny knee slapper. Anyway, these VTubers are again, popular internationally, which is why VTubers were trending today, because a huge news story came out because one VTuber whose name is Rushia, and I'm going to mispronounce so much of this, so I apologize in advance. Rushia got a Discord message from a Japanese artist named Mufa. That's it. That's about the entirety of the substance of this, which maybe you're like, okay, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? VTubers are based off of, in not all VTubers, but specifically HoloLive Japan VTubers, from what I understand, are kind of modeled after the idol groups in Japan, which is like a group of people who are singers, dancers, but lead perfect lives, are supposed to be big role models for young girls, but also like the ideal women for guys. And you know, whether you're into it or not, it is what it is, but it can be kind of weird. And a lot of agencies have control over how these women act in the idol industry, and the VTubers in HoloLive, somewhat similar. I'm not going to say they're one-to-one because I don't know. I'm not that much in the weeds of it. But what I'm trying to say is there are similarities. So when it's found out that somebody is maybe in a relationship, that's kind of a deal breaker. Here's some context. A little over 2 years ago, actually a little under, there was this VTuber named Tawa. And she had a male voice in the background of her stream for 10 seconds. Now, it was found out that it was supposed like a friend of hers before she ever became a VTuber. But They thought the mic was off. It wasn't. The male's voice was heard, and a shitstorm broke out because of this. And Hololive, the same exact company that manages Rushia, also managed Tawa, made her take a break. And they sent out a public apology saying, we apologize for the inconvenience that our talent caused. The inconvenience, by the way, was 10 seconds of a man's voice. That's it. That's the inconvenience. But because these VTubers are meant to lead lives that I think are, kind of supposed to farm parasocial relationships with viewers, then they apologized. And I've talked endlessly about parasocial relationships. And I'm proud of the community that I fostered because of that. I get memed on all the time. I don't mind it so much. But I am genuinely proud because nowadays, even a simple DM, I'll have a 40-sentence preamble about how this is not a parasocial relationship, but hey, thanks for posting that video that one time. It was pretty cool. Doesn't matter what people send these days, they're always wary of it, which is at the end of the day is all I wanted. And I think it's probably overused and used in situations where it doesn't even apply, but let's break it down. Why do you watch a creator? Why do you watch someone like me when there's highly produced shows on Netflix or Amazon, or someone like XQC, or someone like one of these VTubers? And the reason is simple. It's loneliness and escapism. That's it, right? That's all entertainment. That's why I went to go watch Jackass. It's because I was lonely or bored and I wanted entertainment. I wanted to escape my world and see people get their nuts hit really badly for an hour and a half. And that's what I did. And other people will choose to watch people like me or maybe even these VTubers. And you have a certain amount of power when you're in my role. Like I can farm these things. Even me speaking genuinely, and I always, I think, speak self-awareingly, kind of start farming parasocial relationships. A lot of you guys say, I love the Mogul Mail videos. The reason why is because you feel like it gives you like a deeper look into my insights in my thinking around things, and maybe you agree with it. And you're like, oh, I think like that too, but I couldn't put it into words before. I like this guy more now, even though it's the exact opposite of what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to say is it's very easy to slip into. But what I have seen from Hololive, the agency, and I want to clarify, I blame the girls, the VTubers, 0%. I really do. I don't blame them at all. It seems to me as if they are just people who genuinely like creating and like their fan bases, and I don't think they take off their metaphorical VTuber headset and go, fuck those guys. I think they care about their community, and it shows from the few clips I've seen. But the agency has to make money somehow, and they farm the parasocial relationships. So this girl, back to the main story, Rushia, who got a DM from this, music superstar in Japan, Mufa Mufa. The month before that, last month, she released this. This was merchandise she dropped. You can see right here, it's Rushia, and it was a birthday celebration lifelong engagement ring. And it was $40, and you could buy it, and it'll deliver this summer. But you're basically buying an engagement ring for a VTuber you like, which is kind of weird. It feels a little maybe exploitative, but I think probably 90, 95, maybe even 99% of the people who watch these VTubers are rational. They understand what's happening. They're not dumb. They're not like, oh, I've been duped and she's actually dating someone. Most people are like, oh, no, I know that and I'm okay with that. I just want to live in this suspended reality where I'm able to watch someone escape from my problems and, honestly, maybe imagine them as a boyfriend or a girlfriend. They suspend their disbelief in the same way you would watching WWE. Yeah, it's all fake. Yeah, you're not dating these people, but it's entertainment and it makes your days go by quicker and it makes you feel good. So why the fuck not? But there are downsides and dark sides to all of this. Again, this was trending in the US and also Japan. Japan a lot more. You can see Rushia was trending. Virtual Pigs was trending because a lot of people were mad at the weirdos of the group. It is Mafu. I said Mufa. It's Mafu. I apologize sincerely. Engagement ring was trending because the engagement ring that was sold. Ingachikoi forces, which you don't need to get this deep in the sauce, but a Gachikoi is someone who is actually in love with a VTuber as opposed to just an Oshi, which is someone who has like a favorite. I'm sorry. I'm a little embarrassed about how much I know about this now, but there's a whole world, and it is cool. It is cool. It's very interesting. And there were some weirdos. This is a real tweet. If I said the words I want to say, I'd get suspended. I genuinely hope the absolute worst for you burn in hell. To Rushia, and then the membership was canceled because most VTubers stream on YouTube. Twitch isn't that popular. Followed up with the Reddit one. She lied to her fans that she's single and is only dedicated to her fans. Sorry, but I will not white knight liars. Please take a shower immediately. Literally no argument. You probably don't even know what a gachikoi is and what kind of fan base Rushia was cultivating. And then there's this one, which I don't fucking understand because it's in Japanese, but this is the reality we're in, where probably, again, 95% of the viewer base is rational, level-headed, understanding, but there's a small group of people who got lost in the parasocial sauce. They got way, way too deep in it, and partially because of how HoloLive Japan VTubers are meant to be and how they pose themselves. They got really upset at the situation that's happened now. And this might make sense if you relate it to like Amaranth. Remember when there was a huge news story that Amaranth had a husband that she was hiding? Or like the meme of, oh, Pokey has a boyfriend, I'm canceling my tier 3 sub. There's probably a few humans who did do that. Very small number. That number I think is larger for HoloLive Japan VTubers because I think they force that narrative a little bit more of being, maybe the ideal person to watch, being single, being, a perfect animated character. And it really feels like VTubers are able to show off their personalities way more. And it's way easier to get hooked onto a VTuber because it's not about what you look like. It's not about me making the PogChamp face because they have technology that does that. So all they need to do, their talent, and it is talent, is their personality. And I think it's understandable that some people get hooked to that. And it's worrying that some people get way, way too hooked to that. Anyway, that's about the gist of it all. Mafu even sent out an apology tweet saying I've caused misunderstandings to his careless actions. Again, this was a Discord message that said I'm coming over. That was it. It said I'm coming over because they were going to play video games. Maybe they're dating, and I think people are entitled to their personal, private lives. I don't think you should lie about being single and selling engagement rings. I think it's a little dishonest, and I understand that this might not all be Rushia. This probably has a lot of agency mingling involved, maybe in the fact that she has to keep her relationship private or the item being sold at all. But it's kind of sad that you have to apologize for that. And apparently this is also the second time these two people, these two creators, musician and VTuber, have been exposed for dating in the past. Anyway, that's it. That's the gist of it. That's all I got for you. Let's say you're not as down bad as this guy. Okay? But if you are really worried, maybe take a shower as well. Thanks for watching, boys. That's all I got for you. Hopefully you find this interesting. Hopefully that explains why that was trending. And if I got anything wrong, let me know. Let me know. Type it in the comments. I'll try to pin anything or heart anything that corrects me. I tried to learn this all today as fast as I could and really just give a brief explanation from an example of a dumb person who saw this on their timeline, tried to understand as much as I could and explain it to you guys with the perspective of a creator who's also dealt with parasocial relationships. Have a good one, guys. See you later. Goodbye now. See you later, guys. Goodbye.